Hey everybody, it's RJR112392 bringing you my build on the Electric Sorcerer. Let's just start out with the skills. The skills I took was Streak. It's a great gap closer, does damage, stuns enemies for 1.5 seconds. Casting again within 4 seconds costs 50% more magic, but I mean with this build you could definitely afford a little bit of magic to spend. Blockade of Storms, it's great for Zergs, great for bosses, does a bunch of damage. Bound Agis is definitely important for this build because you protect yourself. Basically, a suit of armor comes on you, increasing your physical and spell resistance by 1320, and it increases your max magic by 8%, which is super important. That's why I said you would be able to afford to use a little bit more magic with Streak. Force Pulse, you hit them 3 times instead of just once. Definitely great, especially with the monster helm that I took on this one. Up to 2 enemies will take 2,795 magic damage if they were already afflicted with burning, chilled, or concussed status effects. So basically, you streak through them, then you force pulse them, they take more damage. Liquid Lightning, can't go wrong with Liquid Lightning. Great dot, throw it in Zergs, throw it on bosses, whatever you need to. It's just amazing. I've been experimenting with this slot quite a bit. I've been using the new ultimate ability for the destruction staff, which is Thunderstorm, and I like it, but Bat Swarm, you just can't go wrong, especially with the Magicka build. For my main DPS bar, I run Structured Entropy. I steal health from them, brings it back to me, increasing my spell damage by 20% for 20 seconds. While slotted, my max health is increased by 8%. Super important. Gives me a little bit more survivability, plus I'm healing myself with Structured Entropy while dealing magic damage. Power Surge, great buff, increases weapon and spell damage by 20% for 33 seconds. So if I have Entropy going and this going, I'm hitting for 40% more damage. I have Bound Agis double barred because when I bought bar swap, I do not want to lose the max magic. Mage's Wrath, great execution, plus when it explodes it deals 10,693 shock damage to them and 4,008 shock damage to other enemies nearby. So it's a great execution. Not to mention I can use that, Power Surge, and Structured Entropy like repeatedly, pretty much spamming them, to proc crystal frags, dealing 11,727 magic damage and stunning them for 2.4 seconds. Casting any other magic ability has a 35% chance of causing my next crystal frags to be instant, dealing 20% more damage. So if I have an insta-frag along with Power Surge along with Structured Entropy, that's 60% more damage that I'm doing, and it'll cost 50% less magic. And you cannot go wrong with Ice Comet. By far hardest ultimate to get in the game, but well worth it. 15,426 cold damage to all enemies in the area, knocking them back, reducing their movement speed by 50% for 8 seconds. After impact, enemies in the target area take 4,470 cold damage every second for 11.8 seconds. So if you have Dragonite friend, just have them use Talons on them. Drop Meteor. They're sitting there. They can't move. And they're gonna die. I also have all the passives for Mage's Guild. Reduce the Magicka and health cost of Mage's Guild ability by 15%. Increase duration of Mage's Guild ability by 20%. Increase max magic and magic recovery by 2% for each Mage's Guild ability I have slotted. I have 2 slotted on this bar. Casting a mage's guild ability grants you empower, increasing the damage of your next attack by 20% as long as it's activated within 5 seconds. So basically, structured entropy gives the 20%, power surge 20%, instafrag 20%, and then I can cast instafrag as long as it's within 5 seconds of casting my mage's guild ability. It'll do 20% more damage, which makes 80% more damage. Let's get into the armor. I took Lightning Staff of Crushing, physical and spell resistance from your target is lowered by 1622 for 5 seconds. That gives you enough time to get in there and execute them, pretty much. Increased physical and spell penetration. It gives you a little bit more damage towards them. No poisons, because I'm pretty sure it negates the effects of the Crusher enchantment. And then I took 2 Swords of Torg's Pact. I know, not running any two-handed abilities, but adds an extra 124 spell damage. Anything that gives you more spell damage, good in my book. I'm running Engine Guardian with Reinforced. And then I'm running 5-piece Julianos along with the shoulder of Engine Guardian. And then 3-piece willpower gives me more magic and more spell damage. Let's get into the champion points. In the Magician, I have 81. Reduce the magic cost of spells by however many percent, however many you decide to put in here. This is just how I do it. You don't have to do it exactly this way. You can switch it up. But I put 81 into Magician, 100 into Arcanist because it increases your magic recovery. There we go. Magic super important, obviously. So if you're trying to streak away, you're going to be regenning a bunch while you're doing it. 38 into Elfborn, increased damage and healing dealt by critical by 12.7%. Super good. Elemental Expert, you can't go wrong. It increases your magic damage by 25%. Put 100 into that. Spell Erosion increases spell penetration, so that pretty much knocks off what you need to beat through their spell resistance to get in and do a bunch of damage. Let's check out some stats. My spell damage is 2,868 with my spell critical at 38 even. Physical and spell resistance. Spell resistance is obviously better. I have a whole crap ton of magic. I got 30,897 magic. Kind of a glass cannon on this, but I do have survivability. Boon I took was the Apprentice, increased spell power. I am a stage 4 vampire. Bound Agis will always be on. However, when you do like Way Shrine or anything like that, you have to recast it. And when I use a potion, (3,399) spell power or spell damage and 48% spell critical. I eat these potions like candy pretty much, especially when I'm PvPing. When I'm PvPing, I use the Vicious Death set. And let me show you a little bit of how this works. You can start off the fight however you want. Instafrag, entropy, power surge, switch, gap close for streak. Then we can do entropy, power surge, get pulled in apparently, entropy, power surge, and just power surge until you get instafrag, cast that, 25 thou. And you can just drop a meteor on this old biddy. These guys are in a group. And that's a little bit of how this works. Hopefully you guys liked the video. If you did, like and subscribe for more. It's RJR112392. Thank you.